Hi, Lance McVeigh, San Lorenzo High School Data Director. Hello again, I've seen you guys. Our understanding is that this has been mandated, that it's changing for next year. And that's incorrect, then...
What we're doing is gathering information.
But that's not what's coming to us. I love to hear that. I'm glad to hear that because that's what we need.
Gather information. The board directed us to gather information.
That's
come
great.
Back to them, and then we'll look at all these things. So that's why we have people coming down trying to get information.
So I'll encourage you to come to our meeting if you can, if any of you would like to come to our meeting on Wednesday. So directly from...
Mike Jones, San Lorenzo teacher, SLEA rep, and executive board member, Schedule Planning Committee. 1, that the process the district uses to look at, evaluate, and potentially modify the high school schedules must include the direct participation of all stakeholder groups, including teachers, students, parents, and the community.
Unified School District High School. Students will have to comprehend more subjects per night. Many students already have trouble with 3 to 4 subjects. Imagine what will happen with 6 to 7. The period schedule helps raise scores. Will it really, or is it just a possibility? Tennyson High is on a period schedule. Its API scores dropped a total of 36 in the past 3 years.
Hi, my name is Jamie Vitella, and I'm currently a junior at Royal High School. And I just wanted to say a few things to get you guys thinking about this decision. For example, at Royal we have the Health and Medicine Academy, and we have classes that are called Advanced Topics in Medical Research and Advanced Topics in Medical Terminology. And we push very hard for those to become A through G college courses, which they're now accepted at all the major universities and state schools. And there's a sophomore class and a junior and senior class, and you have the choice to take the junior and senior class through your junior and senior year. And if a lot of students choose to take it through their senior year, but with this new schedule, you can't take it. And being a part of this academy, it opens up a lot of doors for you if you want to go into the health field. So you're only given 2 options for electives. And if that's one of our electives, what else are we going to do? And it's also not fair to students who want to become, for example, like an artist or something. If they want to take a subject such as intermediate art, but they can't because of their schedule, they have to take a different class, what are they supposed to do? They're trying to better themselves in high school, but you guys aren't helping us. And to my knowledge, the district office and you guys are supposed to be willing to push us and trying to get more students to go to college, and this is making people more reluctant to school. Thank you.
Good evening, board. My name is Janae Peterson. I'm a current junior at San Lorenzo High School. We haven't been heard. We haven't been asked anything. All the information that we've been heard or given, is hearsay or this part, that part. And I came from a school my freshman year that had the 6-period schedule. And I thought it would be a great idea. 45-minute classes, it would be awesome, but I personally did not perform well that year. And I found myself to be a very good student. I felt like my teachers were not very involved in my academic education, in my career, as furthering my education. I also felt that the time with the teacher was very limited. It was very rushed. It was come to class, get your notes, and here's your homework, and here you go.
Our understanding was a mandated change for next year, and we're just letting you know where that's coming from.
May I ask you a question?
Yes.
Where'd you hear that from?
It's come, a variety of sources, but
Rumors.
no, meetings where we've been told.
By who?
Director of Secondary Ed, down to principal, down to us.
All they're doing is gathering information to get it back.
But that's not what we've heard. So then that needs to be clarified in the process. But yes, because we've been told, in one particular meeting we were told, gathering data, and at the end of that meeting, but it will change for next year. That's what we know. So we're just...
Good evening. My name is Barbara Shreve. I have absolutely loved teaching in this district and at San Lorenzo High School for the last 9 years. I hope that we would ask if a new schedule would provide opportunities for students to access support to build their reading and numeracy skills. And at the same time, does that same schedule allow students who need that additional support to take elective courses later in their career and pursue their interests in the arts and in music and in foreign language and a deeper study in mathematics and history and science, because we know how important those experiences are for our students to be prepared for their post-graduation options. I would ask if a schedule would really serve the needs of students who are learning English or who have special needs? And will it allow us to, and is it supported by research to show that it will help us to address the needs of our low-performing subgroups? I would also ask, does the schedule support students forming deep relationships with their teachers and with adults who care and are committed to their educational success? And does it support teachers to know those students well and to communicate regularly with their families?
For the first meeting of the Master Schedule Planning Committee, January 28th, draft a proposal to the board. Notes from one of the meetings from somebody who attended. There will be a change next year. So that's for your information, and I hope you take that in the spirit that it's given, in the spirit of unity.
Hello, board. As you know, my name is Susan Sultan. I'm AZ Vice President. And I just wanted to say, short and simple, that my freshman year, I was in the American High, which was the traditional schedule, and I can say that I didn't take anything back from it. I come here in SLZ, and I have the greatest, love for my teachers and my school, and I'm a senior, and it doesn't affect me next year, but still, it does affect the school I come from, and I can honestly say that it's not going to help us, and I didn't take anything back from it. So, just take that in consideration.
That the process the district has initiated needs to be more in-depth and involve more time and background research than is currently called for. We believe this process should continue for the duration of the 2008-09 school year, not to be completed at the end of January, as is currently called for. 3, that any proposed change in the high school master schedules that may result from this process will be implemented in the 2010-11 school year, not next year. This will allow sufficient time for the planning of, preparation, and implementation of any new master schedule.
Good evening. My name is Carlos Cabana. I've been a proud and very happy member of this district and of the San Lorenzo High School Math Department for the last 19 years, hard as that is to believe. I'd like to deliver one simple message that I fear will be true should we move away from the block schedule, and that is I'm worried that change will result in lower test scores rather than better student achievement. Before I say a little bit more about why I believe that is, I'd like you to know that for the last 5 years, I've dedicated myself to helping my department and my school raise our test scores, both in the area of the Math High School Exit Exam and especially our Algebra CSTs, for 2 main reasons. First of all, almost all, if not all, of our students take a full year, 90 minutes, 180 days of Algebra 1, of English 9, and English 10. Those 3 courses impact directly kids' performance, the standards, and kids' performance on the high school exit exam in both disciplines, the Algebra CST, the 9th grade English CST, and the 10th grade English CST. Those tests together comprise the overwhelming majority of our API and all of our AYP. I'm not aware of any other schedule that would let us keep 180 days of 90 minutes of instruction in those courses and therefore prepare students as well for those tests. The second reason has to do with time. When we converted to the block schedule, our principal at the time, Jerry Glenn, had the foresight to insist that following year we work on nothing else but the adjustments in curriculum and instructional practices that were required to take advantage of the block schedule. I think that a change in any schedule would require an equal amount of intense staff focus to do justice to kids in that setting. The problem is that we have lots of other things on our plate. We have WASC on our plate for next year, which, as some of you know all too well, consumes staff's time and energy. And there are lots of other efforts that either we've put on our plate or others have put on our plate that we are enthusiastic about working on and that we think will be crowded out. So no more sustained and special intensive efforts to reduce the numbers of these NEFs. No more new initiatives to address equity issues in the achievement gap at our school, no more sustained work on small learning communities, and no more of the additional efforts that we've made to gather and make sense of data from common assessments. There simply won't be time. To do the switch right, I'm afraid that everything else we do will grind to a halt. Thanks.